Let me show you how easy it is to create and animate clipping masks in SVGator. I've already prepared this animation for which I'll create and animate a mask. First, I will lock the group that has all those animated elements to hide the existing keyframes from the timeline, so I can focus on the new animations I'm going to create. I'll now draw a circle right here in the middle, and I'm going to use it as a mask for the animation behind it. To create the mask, I must select both the circle and the group. The object in front will become mask for the one behind. So, with both selected, right-click, then choose Create Mask from the menu. You can see that a mask group will be automatically created, which contains both the element used as a mask and the one being masked. The mask will be placed in this separate group, which has two types, luminance and alpha. I will choose alpha because I want my mask to ignore the opacity coming from the color the object used as a mask has. Now that I have my mask all set, let's animate it. Go back to the Elements list and open the mask group. Select the ellipse, then choose Scale from the Animators list. The first keyframe is added at the playhead's position. From the Scale properties, I will set it to 0. Then drag the playhead half a second and set the scale back to 1, meaning 100%. The mask is now animated, scaling up from 0, revealing the animation inside. I'll also add a position animation to this mask, starting from 0.8 seconds. I'll choose Position from the Animators list, drag the playhead another half a second, and move it up. Instead of dragging, I'll use the up arrow key, while also holding down the shift, so it will move in increments of 10 pixels. I'll move it up 30 pixels, 1, 2, and 3. You can add multiple elements inside a group mask and use them to create more complex animations. You can create new mask elements or duplicate existing ones. For instance, I'm going to duplicate the one I just animated. Right-click, Copy and Paste options, and Duplicate. I now have a copy of the animated circle which you can't see because it overlaps perfectly with the first one. So what I'm going to do next is to delete its second position keyframe, then move the circle 30 pixels to the right, pressing the arrow key 3 times while holding down the Shift key as well. By doing this, a new keyframe will appear in the timeline, marking the new position of the circle, resulting in an animation that combines two mask elements that can be animated individually. Let's do this again and create a third copy of the circle. Then delete its second keyframe from the position animation and move the circle 30 pixels to the left. I want to create a clover shape using those masks, so that means I have to create one last copy and repeat the process once again, of course, moving the circle 30 pixels down. Let's continue this animation by rotating the circles all together, starting from here at 4.3 seconds. First, I'll select all 4 of them and create a group. Then double-click on its name to rename it. I'll name it Shapes. With the Shapes group selected, choose Rotate from the Animators list. Drag the playhead at 5.2 seconds and set its rotation to 90 degrees. The group containing all the mask elements will rotate the same as any other object, while the elements inside will run their own animations. Let's preview how the animation looks so far. Okay, now let's add a scale animation for each one of the circles inside the Shapes group. I want it to start right when the rotation starts, so I'll double-click this keyframe and the playhead will jump to its position. Next, open the Shapes group and select all the elements inside by clicking the first one and the last one while holding down the Shift key. Then, press Shift-S on your keyboard to add another scale keyframe for each one of the selected elements at once. Then drag the playhead where the second rotation keyframe is and type in 0 in the scale properties inputs. Now let's play it from the beginning and take another look. The last thing I want to do now is to add an easing function to all the keyframes in the timeline to make the animation look smoother and more professional. First, I need to select all the animators and their keyframes from the timeline by holding down Shift and clicking them one by one. Next, I'll open the easing panel from where I can choose a preset, or create a custom function by adjusting the easing graph. This time, I'll simply use a preset from the list. I'll pick this one, the ease-in-out quint function, and the easing will apply for all the keyframes of the selected animators. So this is how you can animate masks and mask groups in SVGator. Of course, you can create more complex animations for masks, such as morph, stroke offset, and more. Basically, any element, static or animated, can be used as a mask.